Hello. Getting started with minimalism is a little bit tricky for some people, and if you're looking to redecorate your home or to simply just simplify your home a little bit, keep watching because in today's video I'm going to share with you a couple of spaces in my house, how I've decorated them, and what kind of things I have out that gives me joy. So keep watching. Hello friends, and a very warm welcome back to Simple Essentials. My name is Emmy, and in this channel we talk all about minimalism, simplicity, budgeting, basically all sorts of ways that you can simplify your life in very simple and affordable ways. And one key thing, especially the year that 2020 and 2021 have been, we've spent a lot of time in our homes. And I get the question sometime, or even the comment when people see photos from my house, they go, oh, your place is really clean and decluttered, it looks so lovely and simple. And what I thought I'd do today is show you a couple of areas of my house, what kind of decor I have or we have in our home, but also I guess talk through why I have those objects there. Because first of all, I don't have it all worked out. Minimalism and simplicity is different for every single person I know who approach and apply this lifestyle in their life. I think it's really important to remember that minimalism is not having nothing. It's about having things that you really love, or things that give you joy, or parts of your family heirlooms that you have on display because you love those objects, not because you should or because someone gifted them to you. So I'm going to take you around a couple of areas in my house where I've got some decor, and as I do, I will share with you why those bits are there, where they've come from. I've done a fair bit of traveling in my life, so you'll find that there are a lot of pieces that are from my travels as well. So let's dive right in and look at the first area. Hey Freya, shall we show them what the bedroom looks like? Yeah, let's do that, shall we? Alright guys, so we're going to look at some really simple decor or simple spaces in our home, and this is just a really quick sweep of our bedroom. So this is not an apartment tour, but I wanted to show you a couple of things that we've got in here, and this one up here is probably my favorite. This is a canvas print that Paul gave me for Christmas the other year, and this photo is actually a photo that we took on our trip when we were traveling around Europe and Norway specifically in 2019. And I love this photo. It's the first thing I see when I wake up every morning, and being a person who loves nature, it's pretty awesome. So we don't have a lot of other things on the wall in here, as you'll see. We'll look at my workstation, which is in the bedroom. Yes, thank you, COVID. And we've got a window to the outside, which is really nice. Now, this little nook here is my side of the bed, and it's really, really simple. As you see, I've just got a plant because we love plants. So this guy has been with me for a really long time, but I love having green plants in the bedroom. He is probably a little bit too big for this space, but I like him, so I'm going to let him stay. This plant stand as well is a really kind of dark wood, and I actually found this years ago in hard rubbish on the side of the road. Someone was just throwing it out, so I haven't even cleaned it up or fixed it up or anything. I mean, obviously I've cleaned it off, but I haven't varnished it or anything like that. Freya, are you helping us? Thank you. Good girl. And down here we've got a salt lamp, which again is something I really love in the evening or early in the morning. It's got a beautiful soft glow. So I actually don't keep anything else obviously here next to the bed. You can't get away from cables, sadly. I do try to hide them where possible. But this little corner I really do love because it's nice and clean and simple, and you would see that we have one of these beds with drawers underneath. So that top drawer there near my pillow is where I have my nightstand, where I keep like books, chargers, anything like that is usually kept in there. So it's really nice. It means that it's nice and clean and streamlined, and yes, sometimes that drawer gets messy, but that's okay. All right, so now let's head over to another area, which is my workstation. And when it comes to decor, I do try to keep it really, really minimal as well. So we'll get a bit closer. Hey, Freya. She loves it when I film. I don't know what it is with cats wanting to help out. Anywho, we've got a lamp that we repurposed from another area of the house. I probably do want to get a slightly different lamp down the track, but it's a nice soft light, which I quite like. And on my desk itself, this is actually how I try to leave it most days. So I've got my work laptop, and I've got my mouse pad. I do always keep a little notebook where I jot down ideas and to-do lists and things like that. And I have my little plant, because when you're working on a screen, you do want to make sure that your flower or your plant or whatever does not actually obstruct your view. And then you'll see further back there, we've got our Google Home. It's just hiding there behind there. And a beautiful card that Paul gave me for our anniversary the other day. So I actually do try to keep, obviously I'll have a water bottle and a cup of tea or something sometimes, but when it comes to decor, I'll usually have a card and a plant of some kind. And if I do have flowers in a vase or something like that, every now and then that'll go on my desk as well. But it's really nice, and because my desk is in my bedroom, so this is literally, other than the beautiful picture on the wall, this beautiful thing is the first thing I see every morning. So I make sure that it's really nice and clear, and it works really well for me considering lockdown and all them things. As a little side note, you'll see that this here is underneath my workstation. It is quite cold here in Australia at the moment, in Melbourne where I live, so I've got my little heater pointed at my feet for the bigger part of the day when I'm working. And in here I've actually gathered, this is just a storage tub or a storage container from Kmart or something like that. And this is just where I keep all the cords and cables, which is not the prettiest, but it works to kind of keep it all fairly contained. And those little boards there on the floor, so I actually took a course in how to sit ergonomically when you're working from home. This table we just got, it's a secondhand table from IKEA, but I realized that I wasn't sitting in a great posture and I needed a little bit of a footrest. So this here is actually two little shelves from another IKEA shelf that you'll see in another room that I repurposed and made into a little footrest. So use what you have in your house sometimes. And that's pretty much it. And here's just a slightly different angle of the workstation. All right, and another area in the apartment is the hallway. So right behind me on my left is the front door and also the bathroom. And in here is the bedroom we looked at just a moment ago. But you'll see in our hallway that we don't have a whole lot of decor and things up because we want to keep the space really nice and clean. Here on the fridge, we've got a couple of silly photos from our friend's wedding that we attended a little while ago. We had a blast, and yeah, we love having these photos on the fridge because it makes us happy, keeps us thinking about great things. Up here on the wall, I've got some really cool wooden masks, so quite small, as you can see kind of next to my hand. They're pretty small. And these beautiful masks are from the Gambia, and I bought them when I was visiting a friend of mine who was working in the Gambia. Oh, it's a bit higher up, but hopefully you can see him okay. And I really love these masks. I've just hung them on the wall with removable hooks, but they are really pretty and they make me think of my friend and my travels. So I really like that, keeping it nice and simple in our corridor. Over here on the other side is our very miscellaneous shelves. This shelf came with the apartment, and this is sort of, I'd love to get rid of the soda stream from up there, but we don't really have anywhere else to store it. So this is normally where we leave wine, beverages, and one of our pots that's pretty big. And at the moment, some beautiful flowers that a friend sent me the other day as well. And over here is one of my favorite things in this hallway, which is it's a special painting or picture where you change the motif every single month. And my grandmother in Sweden, who she's since passed away, gave me this when I was a child. And so every month, this is currently the month of June, that's Swedish for June. And every month you change it, and obviously it's northern hemisphere temperatures because it's certainly not that warm here in Australia at the moment. But this makes me really happy. It's one of those things that make me think of home. And if I just back up a little bit, you'll see how it's not very big, but I think it balances out the space really nicely. And this is the thing, like, it's not about having no things on the walls. It's just that every time I look at this, it makes me smile and think of my grandma. All right, and moving into the main living room, this is what it looks like most days. It's a bit dark outside today. But you will see that we don't have a whole lot of things in here, and that's kind of the way we usually like to keep it. So this here is just a black leather couch from IKEA. I keep the color palette really neutral, so this is just sort of like cream colored cushions. It's really just nice and simple, and the same goes for the curtains as well. For those of you who saw the bit in the for my little footrest that I use at my desk, they're actually from this. So this here is an IKEA shelf where our projector lives, and you'll see here where the little plugs are is where the other shelf bits can go in if you want to have use this shelf for different purposes. But we've actually just used it as a projector shelf and covered up the extra holes, so that works really, really well, and it's really nice and clean on the eye in a very affordable way if you don't want to mount your projector on the wall or in the ceiling. And we've got our aircon split system right there, so it doesn't really work. But that's really nice. We do have a glass table here in the middle. And normally I probably wouldn't prefer a glass table, but when you have a small space, it's really good and easy on the eye. And you'll see here that we've got a couple of little things. This wooden bowl here was actually made by my great-grandfather in Sweden. It's a beautiful bowl that I brought over, and both Paul and I really like it. These bits here are little tea light holders from near where I grew up. And they're actually made out of marble. They're just really, really beautiful pieces. I love them. So yeah, we use these a lot. It's winter at the moment, so very nice and simple. And I do try to group things in 2 or 3 because it makes it a bit easier on the eye. Over here on the wall, we have a print that I bought when I was in Egypt. Goodness me, probably 10, 15 years ago now. This is just a really simple print that you buy in one of the tourist shops, the standard tourist shops, but I really love it. I think it's nice and simple. It kept the frame really simple. And this is our little dining table that expands. We are getting some new chairs. We've just recently bought this table, so we haven't gotten to the chair bit yet. And some absolutely beautiful flowers from a friend of mine on the table there. Over here is the cat tower. Everyone who's got a cat knows that these things are usually not pretty. But what we try to do with Freya, because obviously it is a big part in our living room, and she's a big part of our life. So I showed you, I think in a previous video, I do try to contain, this is like her little toy box. So this is where we keep her stuff. And decor-wise, we kept this a really neutral color because let's face it, a cat tower does not need to be a feature, but you kind of have to look at it, so yeah. So as you can see here, this is our TV unit, but we don't actually have a TV anymore. We project up on the wall here, so that's why this wall is blank, because we just project movies and things like that straight onto the wall. But we've kept it really simple and minimal on the thing itself, so we've got obviously some beautiful soft lamps. And here are some little things that I absolutely love looking at. This little Buddha here, he is from my travels in, I think I bought him in Thailand or maybe Cambodia, probably Thailand, quite a few years ago now, but I really do like him. He's nice and solid and I think he's absolutely beautiful. This little gem was made by my great-grandfather, the same one who made the bowl that you saw a moment ago. And this houses all my little rocks and crystals, and I think it's just so beautifully made. I just love it. So having that out here makes me think of my family and the creativity that my grandfather had, which I thought was just so beautiful. So I love having that out. And here we've got a little plant. This is just a succulent cutting that I got from my mother-in-law, and we planted here in a nice, simple, plain pot. He seems to be liking it quite a lot here. And then a fruit bowl with some things that need to be eaten. But this bowl itself is actually from Sweden as well. It's one that I've brought back with me and I just really love it. I think it's a piece of art the way it is, and it works really well with our decor. So I really like how nice and clean and simple the living room is. All the objects in here, except perhaps the cat tower, which is very functional. All the other objects we really like. We think they're beautiful pieces. They work really well for us, and yeah, So sorry for the echo in here, but the last area I wanted to show you is actually the main bathroom, and it's a really nice calming space. Very simple storage wise. You can see we keep almost nothing on the actual sink itself, so we've only got the soap, the towel. Underneath there is a little bit of storage of some minor things that we've got in here. Obviously the medicine cabinet, and up here I have a white simple box from IKEA, which I just keep some overflow toiletries and things like that in. My little moose that I proudly won a couple of years ago in a raffle, and he reminds me of Sweden, and yeah, I just really like him. And then we've got a plant that seems to like it in here. It gets obviously quite humid because of the shower and stuff, so it seems to like it in here. So we'll see how much I can get that to grow. I planted this when it was just 2 tiny little leaves a couple of years ago, so he seems to be liking it okay in here. But again, I do try to keep it really nice and neutral colors. Obviously, if you like a particular pop of color, you can put a couple of nice splashes of color. But I like when it's white and neutral, and that's our preference, but everyone's different. So just for fun, I thought I'd throw in some photos from an old apartment that I used to rent years ago before I met my now partner. This flat was a tiny 1-bedroom apartment and I was renting it. It was fairly old and run down. It was clean, but as you can tell, the carpet was pretty old. That weird purple wall in the background, I didn't get to choose. But the interesting thing as I look at these photos is that my decor has always been fairly minimal, and I like to keep surfaces as clutter-free as possible. And of course, you can go through different phases in your life where you like certain colors. So I remember finding that little side table in sort of a thrift shop here in Australia, and I really liked it. Had a really nice pop of color, but I've since then probably moved away from the brighter colors and sort of more neutral tones. But one key thing that you will see, this is the kitchen in that old apartment, and I had very little things on the counter. You'll see I've got my coffee machine, my knife block, and my soda stream, and my cutting board that I used pretty much every day, but everything else I put away in the cupboards. And that's my probably key tip for you when it comes to decor and just a really nice clean look in your space, is to take things off surfaces and counters where you can and store them elsewhere. That is a very little snapshot of our house, and obviously I haven't shown you every little nook and cranny because my partner, I do respect my partner's privacy. He's not part of this channel, so I'm not going to show you all the different areas where he hangs out and his workspace, etc. But I hope you got some inspiration, and also realizing that a very good first step to minimalism is clearing out your spaces and your surfaces, because when you have less things to look at, for most people, it does calm the mind and soothe the mind. Remember, however you do minimalism or simplicity is the right way for you. No one else can tell you what that looks like. All I'm doing in these videos is trying to help inspire you as to how you can declutter and create a space that really works for you and your life. All the best, and I look forward to see you in the next video.